Morning, ma'am.
So please all stand. Miss Carolina, can you read the prayer? So good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Before you sit down, so please pick up some pieces of paper and arrange your chair. Miss Limpahan, please stay for the absent of the class this morning. Okay, thank you so much. So, before we will start, we have a classroom rules. So, we have raise your hand if you want to speak, listen to your teacher, be nice to each other, and respect, and of course, off your phone or turn into silent mode for you to not disturb our discussion. So, before anything, who have an idea of what was our last topic class meeting? Okay, Miss Alinton.
So last meeting we talked about different types of curriculum. We have 7. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So, before we will start our discussion, so just fix yourself. Mag-retouch muna kayo ng kamay para hindi kayo ma-stress. So we have an activity here. So just count yourself 1 to 2. Starting here. Then write your name on a 1/4 sheet of paper. All group ones sit here and all of you sit here. So in this activity, you have to guess the word, the scrambled letters. So if you want to answer, just raise your hand, and I will tally your score. At kung sino yung maingay na grupo, meron siyang deduction automatically dito sa scores. So first we have this word. Okay, Miss Carolina. Approaches. You can see. Wait lang. So we have the number 2. Okay, Miss Alenton. Okay, let's see. This one is curriculum and this one is approaches. So the third one. Okay, Miss Taina. Okay, Miss. The correct answer is improvement. The next one we have. Okay, Miss like humanistic. Okay, that is humanistic. The next one. Miss Alenton. Approach. Okay. It is approach. Then the next one. Okay, Miss Taina. Technical. Okay, that is technical. Then we have, okay, Miss Curly, behavioral. Okay, that is behavioral. And the last one, we have
Distance.
that is thank you. Then we have our lesson for the day is approaches of curriculum improvement. So, okay, so if you hear the word approaches, so what comes into your mind? Approaches of curriculum improvement. Okay, Miss Limpahan, do you have an idea?
When I say the word approaches, means the approach to
Okay, thank you. So, approaches of curriculum improvement, another hand. Okay, Miss Alinton.
like, for me, a great curriculum improvement is like paano mo i-handle yung mga curriculum nag-improve. So, as a curriculum worker, how would you manage to deal with these curriculum?
Okay, thank you so much. So, we have a lesson outcomes for this discussion, along with this discussion. So, please all read the objectives for our lesson outcomes.
At the end of the lesson, the students can define and discuss the approaches in curriculum improvement. Explain the different approaches in curriculum improvement. Appreciate the importance of approaches in curriculum improvement.
Okay, thank you so much. So, we have a typical scientific approach. So, who wants to read? Wants to read? Okay, Miss Grace.
Technical scientific approach. The curriculum developers, which may include specialists, superintendents, principals, and coordinators, are likened to engineers and architects who use instruments and empirical methods in preparing a blueprint with well-defined elements, orderly sequence procedures, and quality control measures to increase the probability of success in its implementation.
Okay, thank you so much. So, technical scientific approach in education is a method that emphasizes the application of scientific principles and methods to the teaching and learning process. It focuses on the systems analysis, measurement, and evaluation of educational practices to achieve specific learning outcomes. So, we have an example of technical scientific approach. So, technical scientific approach is the uses of standard testing to assess student performance. Standardized tests are designed based on scientific principles of measurement and assessment. So they provide objective and quantifiable data on students' knowledge and skills. So allowing educators to make informed decisions about instructions and curriculum improvement. So in this analogy, likens curriculum developers such as specialists, superintendents, principals, and coordinators, engineers and architects, much like engineers use instrument and empirical methods to design structures, curriculum developers employ a technical scientific approach. So they create a blueprint with well-defined elements, orderly sequence procedures, and quality control measures. The goal is to enhance likelihood of success in implementing the curriculum. So, likens the superintendents, specialists, principals, coordinators, engineers, architects. So, sila ay gumagawa ng mga plano ng may tiyak na elemento, maayos na sunod-sunod na pamamaraan, at mga hakbang sa pagsusuri ng kalidad. Ang layunin ay mapalakas at ng mga posibilidad na tagumpay sa pag-implementa ng curriculum. So, next we have behavioral rational approach. So, behavioral rational approach is in education is a method that focuses on the application of behavioral principles and rational decisions making in the teaching and learning process. So it emphasizes the use of instance principles and rational decisions making and teaching and learning process. So they use observable behaviors, reinforcements, reinforcement, and logical reasoning to shape and to guide the students' behavior. So we have an example of the behavioral rational approach. So the behavioral rational approach uses the behavior management techniques such as positive reinforcements and behavior contacts to promote desired behaviors in the classroom. So for instance, si teacher use a token economic systems where students earn tokens for exhibiting positive behavior. So we can exchange rewards of privileges. So this approach is based on the principles of behaviorism. So which suggests that behaviors can be shaped and reinforcement through rewards and consequences. Do you agree? Yes. So behavior rational approach means an approach to a curriculum development that use the curriculum as the means and instructions at the end. This approach logical and prescriptive, relying on the technical and scientific methods. So this approach emphasizes the needs for behavioral objectives to guide instructions and assess whether the desired ends are achieved. So it focuses on the learning experiences, instructions, method chosen to facilitate learning. So mahalaga si behavioral rational approach upang magkaroon ng layunin na magtakda ng mga gawain pagtatasa upang matiyak na matugunan ang inaasahang bunga ng pag-aaral. So, ito ay nagtuon ng karanasan sa pag-aaral sa pamamaraan ng pagturo ng pagpili o pagpapamadali ng pagkatuto ng klase natin. So, you have any questions? So, if not, we will proceed to system managerial approach. So, we have system managerial approach. So, what is system managerial approach? So, system managerial approach in education is the method that considers the major interconnectedness, elements, processes, and outputs that compromise the education system. So, it emphasizes the managerial and supervisory aspects of curriculum, particularly in the implementation and organization processes. So, in the system managerial approach, the school leader such as principal is viewed as the curriculum leader and instructional leader who sets principles, establishes the direction of change and innovation and coordinates curriculum and instruction. So, they play a crucial role in planning, organizing, and implementing the curriculum to optimize students' learning outcomes. So, this approach takes into account the relationship and interaction among administrators, teachers, learners, and other stakeholders in the educational system. So, it recognizes the importance of effective communication collaboration. So, we have four under of system managerial approach. So, we have first the motivation interest of all stakeholders. So, in motivation interest of all stakeholders, in this system managerial approach, motivating the interest of all stakeholders is an important aspect. So this involves creating a sense of enthusiasm and engagement among all individuals involvement in the curriculum development processes. So including teachers, students, parents, and administrators, by generating interest, stakeholders are more likely to actively contribute and participate in the curriculum development process. So in motivate interest of all stakeholders, kailangan talaga mabigyang pansin yung interest ng mga stakeholders. So who are those stakeholders? So we have teachers, parents, and the students who will sila yung mga stakeholders na matagamit upang mas ma-develop ang curriculum. So, second one, we have encourage participation and involvement of all stakeholders. So, in system managerial approach, encourage participation and involvement of all stakeholders is another key aspect of the system managerial approach. It is encouraged to the participation and involvement of all stakeholders. So this means providing opportunities for stakeholders to have a voice and contribute their ideas, perspectives, and expertise. By involving all stakeholders, the curriculum development process becomes more inclusive and representative of the needs and aspirations of the entire educational community. Okay, so the third one, we have synthesized divergent viewpoints. So in the system managerial approach, it recognizes the different stakeholders we have divergent viewpoints in opinion. So it emphasizes the importance of synthesizing the divergent viewpoints to create a cohesive and comprehensive curriculum. So this involves facilitating and discussion. So dito na yung magdi-discuss na yung all ng mga stakeholders para sa mas ikakabuti na curriculum on how to improve the curriculum. So the last one we have the monitor curriculum implementation. So in monitoring the implementation of the curriculum is a crucial aspect of the system managerial approach. So this involves regularly assessing and evaluating how well the curriculum is being implemented in practice. So it includes gathering feedback from teachers, students, and other stakeholders, observing classroom instruction, and analyzing students. So, have you experienced na magpapa-evaluate yung mga teacher nyo sa inyo? So that evaluation will reflect on how the teacher teach you or how you gain knowledge from your teacher. So para mas makita ng mga principals or superintendents kung bakit ba sila manatili sa institution to teach kung meron ba kayong natutunan sa kanila. So that is the use of evaluating the teachers from the students. So those four are important in improving the curriculum to see and to enhance the curriculum. So we have intellectual academic approach. So intellectual academic approach emphasizes the importance of theories and principles in curriculum planning. So this model is influenced by the philosophy of John Dewey. So na-encounter din na ba si John Dewey? Okay, so in intellectual academic approach is a curriculum development model that emphasizes on the integration of theories and principles in the planning process. This approach recognizes the significance of theoretical framework and academic principles in shaping the curriculum. So in this approach, curriculum planning is guided by the philosophy of John Dewey. So an influential educational philosopher, Dewey believed in the importance of experiential learning and the integration of theory and practices. So he emphasized the needs of students to actively engage in their learning and connect their experiences to academic concepts. So by emphasizing the importance of theories and principles, so this approach encouraged educators to consider the underlying concept and ideas that support the curriculum content. So it promotes a critical thinking, so problem solving and the application of knowledge in the real world context. So an intellectual academic approach ay isang model sa pagpapaunlad ng curriculum na nagbibigay din sa pagkasama ng mga teorya. So ito is influenced by John Dewey, intellectual academic approach. So we will move on and see the non-technical and non-scientific approach. So who wants to read? Okay, Miss Laina.
Non-technical and non-scientific approach. Flexible and less structured without predetermined objectives to guide the learning and teaching process. Contends that not all areas of education can be known, nor indeed to be known in all cases.
Okay, thank you so much. So, non-technical and non-scientific approach. In education, it refers to approach that focuses on aspects beyond technical skills and knowledge. It recognizes the importance of holistic development, personal growth, and the social and emotional well-being of students. So non-technical and non-scientific approaches in education refer to the approaches in flexible and less structured. So without predetermined objectives to guide the learning teaching process, the approaches acknowledges that not all the desired outcomes of education can be known or predicted in every situation. So, unlike technical or scientific approaches that rely on specific goals, measurable objectives, and predetermined outcomes, ang non-technical or non-scientific approaches prioritize the exploration of diverse perspective, open-ended inquiry, and development of critical thinking skills. They recognize that education is a complex and multifaceted process that cannot be fully captured by rigid objectives or predetermined outcomes. So they promote reflection, self-discovery, and the integration of knowledge across different disciplines. So we'll proceed to humanistic and aesthetic approach. So, humanistic aesthetic approach in education emphasizes the integration of humanistic and aesthetic elements into the teaching and learning process. So, it recognizes the importance of nurturing the artistic and personal dimension of education alongside academic development. So, in the humanistic aesthetic approach in education is seen as the means to foster personal growth, self-expression, and the development of individual identities. It values the uniqueness and creativity of each student, encouraging them to explore their interests, passion, and talents.